was really awesome.
Between fun and business.
Sure.
We'll try. The same property that today costs 8 million in a year will cost 8.5 million.
What else should people consider when looking for apartment?
The main things to chase are the location, the size, because these things you can change.
It was really random.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like almost at a coffee break or something.
Exactly.
Okay, guys, so welcome you to the new episode of the Borderline Czech, where me, Daria, and Jan, we argue about everyday life in Czech Republic as a foreigner and a Czech citizen, or how I like to call it, me being mean to Jan for 60 minutes straight. Today, I think Jan will have some more support, more than usual, because we have two amazing guests. It's Max and Danny from Czech Advisors.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, our pleasure.
And today's going to be a little bit more serious topic rather than entertainment. It's going to be about buying flats, houses, mortgages, and all stuff, finances.
Boring stuff mostly.
Yeah,
But important stuff.
Well, definitely.
Yeah.
true. But we can maybe find some, common ground between fun and business.
Sure.
We'll
See.
try. We'll try.
All right, we can basically start right now. We also received a few questions from the audience, so we can also address those questions. But we can get a little controversial right away. So, does it actually make sense in this economy to own a property?
Yeah, it's $100 million question. So, like from my standpoint, I think it's very important to actually make some clear thoughts about if you want to stay here or not. Therefore, if you want to leave the country in 1 year, then in that moment, I don't think it's a good idea to buy something, and it's better to rent, just because of the bureaucracy and process. It takes like 2 or 3 months to actually go through the process. On the other hand, if you want to stay here in the country for at least you never know, but you plan to, then I think it absolutely makes sense. And rental is, I think, in that matter, a waste of money. So yeah, this is my...
I think owning a property is more about stability that makes you stable. Also, it's a good investment opportunity because properties keep rising, passing the time. And also, it's a good investment tool because you can buy it via mortgage, which basically means you are not going to use all the property price to buy it, but you only need 10 or 20% of the property price, and the rest is handled by the bank. So it's a good investment opportunity as well.
Yeah, I think we'll go deeper into that later in the podcast. Because I wonder if it's still, like from the investment perspective, if it's still worth it to buy something in Prague, and like how it works with mortgages for foreigners, all that. So I think we'll get there.
But definitely main thing is not to just speculate or have some idea that you will buy the property and in 2 years it will rise in value by 30%. It might be the other way around. But I think long term, when we are talking about 10 plus years, I think it makes sense to buy a property here.
Yeah, but does it happen a lot that you actually advise someone not to buy something and wait?
Go ahead.
It depends on the situation. Basically, we could advise the people don't buy right now. It's because maybe of their situation regarding their job or their family or just in general their situation. So in these cases, we don't advise them to buy. But in other cases, it's 80%.
Yeah, as you say, it's the thing is that some people are just not prepared for it, or their financial situation is that if they take the mortgage, the expenses become so high, that it might be financially dangerous to them, and in that case, it might be better to postpone for a few months, get some reserve, stuff like that. Yeah.
So might be a good time now to tell us a bit more about you and what you actually do for people. Because it's not only mortgages, I guess. So there are other
Mortgage is like 30%, I would say.
So let me introduce you our service. Basically, it's a full service for a foreigner to buy a property here in the Czech Republic, which basically means an expat comes to us, tells us, I want to buy a 2KK 50 meters in Prague. We start searching for the properties. We start sending them listings. Then we attend viewings together. We do the property inspection. We have our lawyers who check the contracts.
We translate on the visit.
Yes, exactly.
Very common here in Prague.
We get the contracts translated to Czech for them to understand everything. And then we do also the price negotiation. We handle the mortgage process, which basically means that we handle the whole process. So you just tell us what you want to buy, and we just and then just receive the keys and move it. So
sounds easy.
Yeah, it's a bit more complicated than that.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, the problem is that here in Czech Republic, despite we are in capital Prague, people are still not used to speaking English, and like getting some visit arranged can be pretty difficult if you're not speaking well in Czech, because these agents, they are, I think, still a little bit scared of expats, that there will be problems and complications with them. So they rather, not even do the visit and waste the time and just accept Czech citizens, or during the time where they choose who they will sell the property to, they obviously choose the Czech person,
especially in this time where the demand is very high, so they could choose basically who do you want to sell the flat to.
Because they have this idea that it's like more complicated to sell it to like a foreigner because it's going to take longer and stuff. Is it true that it's going to take longer?
Well, the thing is that that's why we, for example, call to the property the first. Yeah, we are the first one to call there. We introduce ourselves, of course, in Czech and everything, and we tell them, yes, there is this expat client who wants to buy, but we make sure that he understands, the agent, that we will be handling the technical part of the process. We will be handling the contracts. We are handling the mortgage. Everything is fine with the client because they are usually, earning good amount of money. They have down payment, stuff like that. So it's all just matter of, I would say some information, gap between the agent and the
So basically,
buyer.
I think the agents are afraid more of the situation that they couldn't explain properly the contracts or explain how the process is going to take long or something like that. So this is their main fear, I think. So yeah.
But generally speaking, I think like with our advisory, Czech clients and expats clients, the process, it's more or less the same time-wise and so on.
Yeah, I wonder if you remember any like specific situation when your client was like refused of buying a flat or something, like anything interesting or funny comes to mind?
Yeah, many.
You stole my question.
Well, as a matter of fact, many scenarios. Some people are like straightforward, really like racist. They just don't want to deal with expats. We've heard, I don't want to say those things, but not the nice things at all. And with some agents, you can feel the
tension.
The tension, the
distance, maybe.
The distance. They just don't want to go through that because of the problems that they create in their own mind. But do we have some specific?
I don't think so.
Some specific nice racist story.
Basically, it's only them saying that we are not going to sell the flat anymore to you, but we are going to sell it to someone else. So just before signing the reservation contract, so there's something fishy always. So it's always that they changed their mind, or maybe the owners told them, "I don't want to sell it to this person," or something like that.
Yeah. And some funny story that comes to mind? Or some interesting client, someone like in a very specific position or a job or something?
A specific client, something came to my mind right now. It was a client who already signed the reservation contract, paid the reservation fee. It was 250K at that moment. And he came to me with the proposal that he already got rejected, like from the mortgage. If I could help him with anything. So I told him, okay, it's a bit late, but let's check the situation. At the end, it ended in a good way, but it took us, I think, 3 months to deal with the whole mortgage, with getting the reservation period longer than it was in the contract. It was
a difficult
super
situation.
hard, yeah. But we handled it, and the client ended living in his own his flat that he wanted. So that did good.
I have one client, definitely, just a short story. Essentially, last fall, we were able to approve a mortgage for an Iranian client, and that doesn't sound that amazing, but you have to take into account that it was the first Iranian client approved in Czech in last like 10 years. Yeah, we really went through the process with the bank. We are really almost the board were discussing it. If I should exaggerate a little bit, it was really awesome, and it made some let's say
movement.
A movement in the bank. So all of a sudden we were able to approve a second one right after that, because we just showed to the bank that it's possible and that there's not that much to be afraid of. Yeah.
And is there? Because I think when we were opening bank accounts for some clients, there used to be some blacklist of countries where you cannot like get a bank account or you cannot get a mortgage. So is it still like a thing?
It's divided to categories. So risk countries first category, risk countries second category, and the worse it gets, the worse gets also the conditions of the mortgages. So basically, it's based on the category you are in. So basically, European countries are in the first category of like foreign countries. Then first risk countries, I think something around Africa, Asia.
Yeah, exactly. Some African countries, and the worst one are typically Russia, North Korea. Not that somebody, I suppose, gets here from North Korea.
Among friends.
Or the Iran, for that matter, is a very problematic country in this manner. I just think it's a little bit stupid, because like the people are usually living here for many years, and just because they were born like few hundred kilometers
from some country, doesn't mean anything.
It's a bit I think some Czech clients are much worse than somebody who comes from Iran and actually shows some
But I think in the matter of the mortgages, it's all about the story. So when you tell the bank the right story, that the people are living here, working, doctors, things like that, I think the banks could check it with another perspective. So.
It's important. We are good storytellers, I would say. Like a really good one. Of course, not that we would make up stories. We just, I mean, we cannot afford that. We would lose all our licenses. That would be good.
Yeah.
But we have to really show to the bank who is this client and why it makes sense from our perspective to get him approved. Because the bankers and so on, when they sit at the bank branch, they get some fixed salary, and they are not that really interested if the person gets approved or not. On the other hand, we are motivated by getting the money after approval, which means that we try really hard to push through the process, and then there are some results, like with the Iranian clients, for instance. Because otherwise she was rejected everywhere on the bank branch that no, we cannot do this, no, we cannot do this. Well, we could.
Yeah.
Also, when we see the case is shady a little bit, so we don't go. We tell the client it's not possible at the initial. So we don't try to get some shady clients maybe approved or something like that.
It's still bank system. We have to be careful what clients we have.
It's not worth losing the license or the reputation or anything.
I wonder what is a shady client. How would you define a shady client?
Like some weird incomes, so weird corporation that he's included in. He's paying very big amounts as a down payment, which does not correlate with his income.
It should be reasonable. Like, okay, I have this savings. I made them from this income. I'm
IT
working,
specialist.
Working there 10 years plus, things like that. It should make sense from the perspective of the bank. So,
but when somebody works at kebab and he brings 10 million, that I made it in kebab in 2 years, and we are like, oh, I don't know.
But if he has it in his company, why not?
Of course, it's a different story. We have to always trace the source of the money. It's complicated, but we have to be careful.
We have to check all the things.
Yeah.
And it's all getting more difficult with like the EU regulations and everything.
I wouldn't say it's getting more difficult, but the conditions always change regarding the economic system and the economic situation of the country. For example, now in April, we have the new rule of the third investment property. Then you need at least 30%.
Tell me more.
If you're owning already two properties and you're going to buy the third one, you will need at least 30% of your own funds to finance it. And also, the more difficult thing is the parameter DTI, which is basically debt to income, which basically says that the amount of mortgages you have. So if you have 15 million in mortgage, so should be at the maximum is 7.5 times your yearly income.
So if somebody makes $1 million per year, or the household makes $1 million per year, the maximum mortgage total amount should be 7 million, which is very, very strict, I would say. So buying the third property will be much more difficult from April.
Yeah. And if it's like an investment property that you just like find tenants,
that's the exact reason why this rule has been applied, because the Czech National Bank wants to a little bit regulate these investment properties to, well, hopefully slow down the insane growth of the properties. I think it will not make a difference.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But you help both Czechs and expats, right?
Yes, but I would say that 90% of our clients are expats.
95 to like majority. We just deal with very difficult Czech clients, I would say. Very complicated cases.
How did you end up doing that?
You mean the expats clients?
Yeah, or like the whole thing. What was the idea? Why
business?
Yeah. How did you wake up one day? I was like, I'm gonna help expats get the property here.
It's a good question. Well,
maybe start from your perspective and
sure.
Oh my God, so it's the same situation as we have. We all have the same story. It's fine.
We do have two different versions.
I think that he has much better story than I do. But the thing is that I was very close to English language since I was born. I had an English au pair, and I went to bilingual school and so on. So I really always liked the English language, and we Czechs, I think we are a little bit not the best clients to work with, I would say. We are very stubborn. We aren't very grateful. It's
nah.
We just have something in our blood that's not ideal. And I was really annoyed many times. And then I worked with one client. He was British, and oh my God, that was a completely different perspective. I got him approved. He was like celebrating it. Yes, very well done. Thank you, Max. He even invited me to a dinner, and things like that. And they are very, very common among expats. So I was like saying, why not to completely rearrange the business, get rid of Czech clients, and start getting expats clients. And I truly enjoy working with these people, because I see that we can really, of course, it's a bit of a cliche. It's still business, but at the end of the day, it's very important how you, I think, feel about the work. Exactly. And when you see that you can get
really
the home,
help,
really help somebody.
Yes,
it changes. It's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good feeling.
Exactly. And from my perspective, I'm an expat, so I was born in the Czech Republic, but my origins are not Czech. So I know 5 languages, so my whole life I was supposed to do something with to use these languages. So when I started working in finance, I started with Czech client. Then Max came to me and told me, let's try to help expats, and I was okay, why not?
You are an expat. We like expats.
Yes,
let's do something about it.
Exactly.
And so you didn't know each other, and you were working in a bank, and Max got a mortgage approved through you and offered you a job, or how
we worked in the same company. We actually met each other on the hall of this company.
Yeah, it was really random.
Okay.
Yeah,
like almost at a coffee break or something.
Exactly.
So
how it often starts. It's like you bump into someone.
Yeah, and then he has really good energy, and it's good to have somebody who I think understands a little bit more about the struggles and the expats feeling of
the mentality of
exactly.
Yes, exactly, of the expats. Because if we have expats have a little bit like different mentality or different thinking about the things, about living, about handling the mortgage, and it's more trustworthy working with us who understand them than going to a Czech advisor who doesn't really know anything about expats.
Trust is everything. Yeah.
I like how you say rather than going to Czech advisors, because you're literally Czech advisors.
Yeah, we should do something about the name, I suppose.
And how long have you been doing this?
I'm on the market for 6 or 7 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the company exists, or the brand exists for, I think, 4 or 5 years. I'm not really sure. I would have to look into.
Yeah.
The
reason we invited the guys here is because we actually have a lot of clients who got their flats. Well, a lot, like quite a few clients who got their flats through them. So that's why we really trust them, and that's why we're all here.
Yeah, we are really happy to help, and thank you for bringing some clients our way. We always try our best.
And thank you for inviting us to tell our story also. So
yeah, definitely.
Our pleasure, because we also want to. We try to provide like top level service, and everyone we recommend must be the same. So we are happy that it's been working.
I'm glad we are seeing that way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We try hard. Yeah.
What is the most wanted type of apartment in Prague?
Ooh. Interesting question.
I think it's 2KK, exactly.
2KK, 55 meters, third floor.
Because this type of property is also the best to sell. So if you are buying right now and you know after years that you are going to sell this property, 10 people are going to stand in front of your door and wait for you to sell it. So it's the best way to invest, and also it's the first flat people own. So it's basically 2 rooms. So one for sleeping and one for living. So this is the starting point for many people. Also, it's good for rent, for long-term rent, for short-term rent, as Airbnb or something like that. So
and it's also variable.
The best,
Yeah, and I think like there is the psychological point of view where these apartments usually do not cost above 10 million, whereas where we are looking at 3KK, they, end up being over 10 million pretty frequently. And I think the numbers make a difference. Although 9 or 11 is not that big of a difference, but I think it's also what makes it.
And the most popular locations in Prague.
I think it differs quite a lot, like at least from my perspective and the clients that I work with. They either they need to live in center, and there's no talk about it. Although I would never live in center. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. So some people really narrow down the selection to Prague 1, 2, and 3, let's say. And some clients, which I think is the better approach, they look on the outskirts where you would actually want to live. From my perspective, very subjective. The thing is that I do not prefer the trams and drunk tourists, stuff like that. I just prefer to live somewhere next to nature, which in Prague we have so many parks. It's really nice. From this perspective, the city is super awesome, and you can always find a nice apartment next to some park where you can go on a weekend, stuff like that. So I think these are 2 main categories.
Exactly.
And
do you feel the same?
Do you see differences between nationalities, maybe?
Yeah. Well, maybe not that in terms of location, but in terms of size. I know that Indians, they need lots of size, like big size and big kitchen. It's very important for them. They love to cook, and I totally understand. And they cook very well. So that's one very specific thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing comes to my mind. Only the Indians think.
Also big kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah. Really.
They really are interested in having the doors to some way. So it's to the east, I think.
Oh, right.
East and
they are having these energies. I forgot how it's called.
South, I think. It's they need to have the doors this way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the energies are not good in the flat, so they would rather go for another flat.
They are like even interested in some of my clients, Indian clients. They are really, I think, they care about these energies and things like that. It's a big cultural thing there. And some really even care about the story behind the apartment. Like if something bad happened there, who lived there, what was this type of person.
I'm also always interested in that. That's why I live.
Especially who died there.
Exactly. I want to be friends with all the ghosts.
So I always hope that there wasn't some cemetery under that under that building.
So I actually wanted to ask, if there's like a cemetery next to it, they will not take it? Do you see it a lot that they wouldn't take it like in the...
Honestly, I wouldn't take it also.
You wouldn't like to live next to cemetery?
No.
I was living next to like in between cemetery and the crematorium for 2 years.
Oh, very nice.
And we were like, I was okay with like dead people, but
Glad
like
you
this
survived.
sad mourning people like in the crematorium, that was something else I couldn't.
Yeah. It's weird. Like we have a hospital right next to cemetery, which I think is like very, very ironic. It's at Vinohradska, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I lived. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
But also like be aware of having hospitals beside you, because you're still going to hear noises about the ambulances and things like that. So just a note for the future if you're trying to find a flat. Check if there's a hospital beside.
Or if you are living close by a metro station, which everybody prefers, well, it's not that easy because some metros are so close to the ground that the apartment might vibrate.
Yeah.
Same goes for train tracks. So there are, we check those things, of course, but
exactly.
that's just some things that are, I think, important. Yeah.
Flora Shopping Center, it actually shakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually feel it shaking.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the same feeling. And when you are once in shopping center, okay, but every day, it starts to become pretty annoying.
What else should people consider when looking for apartment? Like from this perspective, like the practicalities maybe of living there.
Things.
Okay, so when we are searching for flats, the main things to chase are the location, the size, because these things you can change. The things that you could change in the apartment are not that important. So
like kitchen,
basically the kitchen, furniture, everything. This could be changed, but the location, what you are looking for, is the most important thing, I think.
Yeah, totally. And also, as you mentioned, which side is the apartment facing? So, for instance, if you have an apartment, and the only windows are heading toward north, like, you will start to feel it on your, on your mental health. So ideally, heading south, big windows, lots of light, and I think they are even sold much better because just people feel better in these apartments. Human like lights, I would say. Yeah.
Exactly. And from the matter maybe of the ownership of the flat, always check if it's personal ownership or it's cooperative. Yeah, because here in the Czech Republic we have something
I've
called
done so many videos about housing cooperatives.
Yeah, let's talk more about the cooperative, because I feel like that's like something that everybody faces. So what is a cooperative, and why shouldn't you buy a flat in cooperative? Do you actually buy a flat when you're a cooperative? Probably not.
No. It's I would say, I always explain it as some post-socialist type of like ownership, where essentially you are not owning the exact or the specific unit in the apartment building, but you own sort of a share of the whole apartment building with the exclusive right of living in the specific unit. But there comes complications where, for example, if you want to renovate a flat, you need to have approval from everybody in the same building because they co-own it with you. If you want to use a mortgage for it, it's not possible in most ways because you cannot put it down as a collateral for the bank. So they won't accept it as a security. So if you do not have any other property here in Czech Republic that is personally owned, you cannot use a mortgage for it. And that's a big problem, right? Obviously. Because, who takes 10 million from their pocket? Some other things that came to mind?
Maybe not about cooperative flats, but also there are some types of personal ownership flats, which are, let's say, atelier. I don't know if some of the clients already seen that, but they usually cost less than normal apartments. They are usually or in basements or in underground, let's say. And in these flats, you can take a mortgage also for them.
Yeah, in some cases,
yes, but in most cases, it's not possible to have a mortgage on a personal ownership flat, but it's atelier.
Yeah, atelier or ubytovací jednotka or jiný nebytový prostor. There are so many like types of the apartments, and you always have to check how exactly they are registered in land registry. It's super important.
Yes. Yeah. Also important for expats because you can't have your address there, so it's needed for the foreign police. So it's not possible in ateliers to have your address.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can sometimes find atelier that are financeable via mortgage. For instance, in new development projects, they are in like 5th floor. They are not even underground. They look like a normal apartment. They are just differently like registered.
Yeah.
And in that case, it is possible. But I would still avoid them because of poorer appreciation in time.
And can you change the atelier to a proper apartment?
Then he has direct experience with it.
Okay.
Okay, so it is possible under some conditions. It should have like some meters. The windows should be above the street, and it should have like the acceptance of the firefighters and the hygiene. I think
the light. There are so many aspects that the apartment needs to meet.
Yeah, but if everything's all right, then you have to get the exception of the owners association. So more than half of the owners should accept that you are going to change this flat from an atelier to a normal apartment. Then you can do it.
Okay.
It's quite a process.
Yeah, sounds like that.
Yeah.
But why developers? Because it's even in the new buildings, right?
Yeah.
If they are building new ones, why do they do that?
It's the matter of the Czech law that they have a map of Prague, let's say, and in this building should be 2 nebytový prostors and 8 flats. So they have to fulfill this condition of the
the thing is that each portion of Prague is exactly regulated how many apartments I mean bit, so they are registered as a bit, can be there, and they are using, of course, to minimize the cost per unit. They are building as much as possible, but on the other hand, they get into this limit of the number of apartments that can be registered there. So let's say 5%, 10% of units needs to be registered as an atelier, although they are physically the same as the bit next to it. It's complete nonsense. And I think it's one of the one of the problems that make housing here expensive. Regulation.
Exactly.
But I guess everybody knows that.
But why do they, like, I don't get it. Like, why would they regulate how many flats they can be?
It's basically only because of before, in the old times, in each building downstairs were the commercial flats. So in each building should be, let's say, 2 places for commercial places. Spaces, exactly. So
because that comes from the územní plán, right?
Exactly.
Which was done like a million years ago or something.
Yes.
Yeah. And also they try to limit the number of people that live in the area, not to over exceed the limits of the roads, for example. Because if all of a sudden there is just one line road, there is no other access point to that place, and all of a sudden there's 1,000 people living in some big development project, it's a big issue. Also in terms of schools, kindergarten, stuff like that. So it makes sense, these regulations in a way, but I think they should just more push on the overall development of the city than to limit the construction just because we don't have,
also update the places, because the places have changed passing the years. So some places have more schools, more hospitals at the moment, more roads. So why not to build more flats?
It's a complex topic, definitely. Yeah.
Any other mistakes that expats can make when like applying for mortgage and buying a flat?
The main mistake is, as I said the story before, signing the reservation contract before checking their mortgage ability. Because, if you work here, you think you are able to get a mortgage, but not usually. It's not in 100% matter, let's say. So always check your mortgage conditions before signing anything.
People are just like literally gambling with their own money, so they hope that they will get the mortgage, but you just never know until you ask, at the bank, or better us, if it's even possible, because you first should start with the mortgage assessment, so you know your mortgage options, and based on that you will set up a budget. So people might reserve some property that, they
It's
might get a
out of their
mortgage.
budget, yeah,
but it's
exactly.
out of the budget.
How does it work then? So you first go to the bank and say, hey, if I want to buy an apartment, how much you're gonna lend me?
Exactly.
Yeah. And they tell you.
But the problem is that you might get into some bank and they will tell you, no, it's not possible to get a mortgage here because that specific bank is not able to handle it. So it's definitely the best thing you can do is to compare all mortgage options you have on the market, all of the banks, because even the differences between maximum mortgage can be different bank to bank. In one bank you can get 5 million, and in the second one 10 million.
Yeah,
exactly.
So there are
And so what should people prepare if people are watching us trying to or thinking about getting a mortgage? So what they should prepare before they go to a bank, if they don't go through you, if they want to make it more interesting for themselves, let's say, and they don't go through you, so what they should have, what kind of file they should have prepared when they go to the bank?
So first of all, they shouldn't be in their probation period. So probation period is not okay. Then if they are not in their probation period, they are employed. I think only 3 bank statements are okay. Having 3 bank statements with the income on for them. If you go with these documents to the bank, they will always check what is the maximum mortgage that you can get.
I'm thinking of a residency permit validity
also,
because as you know, employee cards are valid only for 2 years. And I don't know how this happens, but every time we do the mortgage, it fits exactly at the end of this 2 years process. And it's the thing is that you are bumping into this like rule craziness where when you apply here for a residency permit renewal, you get it in like 3 months, let's say.
You get the bridge visa.
Exactly,
then,
but you get the bridge visa, so you are legally here. But the banks do not accept bridge visa. So we are in this, like, you have it approved, you have your bridge visa, but the bank says, well, you don't have your plastic card, I'm sorry, we can't do this. And we had this one experience with my Chinese client. It was crazy. We somehow convinced the bank, but they really wanted to cancel it out and we would lose like $500,000 in the reservation fee. It was crazy. So validity is super important. It's very, very important.
So when having these documents, the bank would check your mortgage options. Then you know your maximum budget. You can start searching, go sign reservation contracts, do whatever you want. And when you sign the reservation contract, then the process starts with the mortgage.
To be extra careful, which we always are, before you sign a reservation contract, you have to do so much due diligence for the property. And not only the property, but also the SPA, the homeowners association of the apartment building, because there can be some big debts that the apartment building has, maybe from some past renovations. There can be just some financial problems there. That's a big issue. Also, the apartment itself can have some sort of liens on it or some other legal burdens. So you sign a reservation contract, and then the bank, of course, finds out about it. But it's too late for you because you already paid the reservation fee and you will lose it. So this is all preventable. Always check everything in advance.
Yeah, you're kind of scaring myself now.
No.
You need to take so many steps, and they need to all go together. And
the main steps are only just checking the mortgage before getting anything.
But of course, we are professionals. We have to do much more than that. It's not that in 50% of cases there will be some problems. I would say in 5%, 2%.
Exactly.
So it's
but
rare.
It's more about being careful about the things and
we see it with rentals as well, because we do like rent-in properties as our service. And in most cases it's fine, but then stuff happens. And we've seen people who rented an apartment, moved in, and then the landlord told them that they will not give them any proof of accommodation, or they just found out that it's atelier because they didn't check it on their own before.
Problem with address then.
And then what will you do? You've just moved to the apartment, you went to the Ministry of the Interior trying to change the address, and they tell you, but you cannot live here. So you stay in an apartment where you officially cannot live, or you move, which you've already moved, paid the commission, everything. So
it's not easy to live here.
I always say that Czech Republic is the country where you move in when you want to struggle a bit. If you want to be unhappy for a little while, just move to the Czech Republic.
It depends which business partners you choose. So
that is true, but
but I wouldn't say Czech Republic is a very nice country. It depends where are you coming from. So some countries are in war right now, so living in the Czech Republic is
the best place to be.
Yes, is a blessing for them. So,
but I still think, like, based on my experience, like the expats are very satisfied with like Prague and Brno. I don't have experience somewhere else. I don't know, but I think people at Prague and Brno are very, very much like used to expats, and I've never heard about some like people being like really mean or something. So I think Prague is good.
I agree.
What about if someone has like a foreign employment contract and is paid like in euros or dollars and everything? Can they get a decent mortgage?
Just dealing with one case like this, I'm having one client. He's a pilot for some American airline, and therefore he's paid in USD. And to answer the question, yes, it is possible to accept such income, not in all of the banks. Plus, when they actually get accepted in some banks, each bank does the calculation of the income a little bit differently. So, for instance, some banks accept the full income when they transfer it to Czech crowns, but some make
buffer.
Make some buffer. So, for example, they do not accept 100% of the income, but only 90 or 80. Or even 70% of the income, so it's important to choose the correct bank.
Currency risk for the bank. So
but 70% is crazy.
Yes,
but it is possible. Yeah.
And if you could give us some realistic example of like what is the cost of the apartment, size, whatever location, the income of the person, the mortgage they can get, something like generally, of course it differs like case to case, but some to give people idea, okay, my income is 70,000 crowns, what can I get, how much of like down payment I need to make?
It's a simple rule of thumb. I would say each million in debt is 5,000 crowns monthly payment.
Yeah, so if you're having 5 million mortgage, that transfers to more or less 25,000 crowns per month.
Yes, exactly.
More or less.
As a monthly payment.
Yeah.
Also, regarding the salary, if you want to buy a 5 million flat, you will need 50,000 crowns net income. Please, net is the most important word in this sentence because the bank accepts only the income that arrives to your bank account. They are not
interested in brutto incomes.
Exactly. Also, we have a lot of clients who get, let's say, stocks also from their employer, also not accepted in mostly of the cases. Yeah.
So essentially, if you are, as you said, 70 or 80,000 crowns, so that transfers to maximum of 40,000 crowns per month as a mortgage repayment, which is around 8 million mortgage. But of course, on top of that, you need to pay at least 10% down payment. So the final apartment will be around 8.8 million, which I think is a very nice 2K in Prague.
Yes, 10% is in the better cases.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you're under 36 years old, then you will need only 10% of the property price. Then if you're above 36 years, then you will need 20% of the property price.
Yeah, I was already like saying when you started saying if you're below 36, I thought there would be some disadvantage.
Yeah.
But I guess we can die sooner. So,
yeah. But even then there are some exceptions. But let's not get into that. That's a detail. Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm interested in? You said that the Czech banks don't accept stocks, right? And some. So how is it compared to like other countries? Do you have any experience, or like if you could compare it with other?
Like the thing of the stocks actually makes sense because the stocks are not stable. So for them, if S&P 500 gets lower 50%, then you don't have any stocks. So they can't accept it as an income.
The problem is, and in that matter, I think it's unfair, is when they get it as a part of the salary, because it's typical for big corporates like, I don't know, Broadcom and Microsoft. Exactly. So clients from these companies, they usually tell us that, look, I'm getting getting I don't know 100K as a salary and another 100K as the stocks, and then they come into these viewings and sign reservation contracts because they know that they are having 200K income, but they don't because for the bank it's only 100K because they just don't accept the stock income at all because again prices might fluctuate. It's
risky for them.
It's risky. It's unreadable for the banks.
Just comparing the risk.
Yes,
but with the other countries, to be honest, I don't have a direct experience with like this amount of detail regarding mortgages. So I'm not really sure on that.
It'll be interesting to know like how the mortgage policy is different in Czech Republic rather than other countries.
I know that, for example, in America, it's most important what kind of collateral you have. So if you have a big apartment that's very valuable, they will give you money without even like proving incomes, more or less. That's exactly what I understood from some of my clients. So here you always need to have both income and the security. So
basically the Czech banks check three things. It's usually the people who are asking for the mortgage. This is the first thing. The second thing is the property itself, if the value of the property is all right or not. And this third thing is the salary of the people who are asking for the mortgage. So it's called bonita in Czech. So how much they can afford
these are the main pillars.
Pay. Yes, exactly.
I think we could talk about this for a long time, but it's been already almost an hour that we've been talking about it.
Oh, it's really, it's really
fast.
Time flies.
With such, I was thinking it was gonna be more boring. Honestly, no offense, sorry. But actually, it's not. Actually,
we are used to that.
Actually, it's very interesting. I have a few questions to finish the episode, like some hot takes, some just fast answers. So, if you were to advise to buy the property in Prague or somewhere else, what would you advise?
Like you mean in Czech Republic still?
Yes.
I would honestly go for Prague. It's because of having a lot of people wanting to live in Prague. So in the future, if you want to sell the property, you won't find any problems with it. If you're going to buy in a small village, the number of buyers is limited. Exactly. So it would be harder.
I agree with this stance. The thing is that, of course, Prague is the most expensive place where to buy apartments, and people are shifting towards Kladno, Beroun, all these smaller towns around Prague. But again, we are then facing these things that in the future, if you want to get rid of the apartment, or you want to rent out the apartment, or if you are looking for some good appreciation, all of these three things will work the best in Prague. The Prague is expensive for a reason. It's not just like that.
Exactly.
But still, for example, Brno, I think if somebody lives in Brno or want to invest in Brno, I still think it makes sense. Lots of expats there, big companies having their headquarters there.
I would go for bigger cities in general, not going for small villages or something. Also, the cities around Prague, let's say Beroun, Kladno, these cities are also a good place to live. The flats I think the prices are almost on the same situation as in Prague, but it's also a good place to live, especially when you don't have to go to office all days. So you're having home office. So why wouldn't you live around Prague?
But it won't perform that well.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about buying from development projects? Would you advise it or?
Be aware of development projects, especially the prices listed on the websites, because they don't usually put the price of the garage or the seller including the price listed. So you have to add usually 1 million to the price listed.
And you have to get it? Like they will not sell it to you without...
It's usually mandatory. So you can usually read it on the website. So the listings looks really great. New 2KK for 8 million. It's terrible to say that 8 million is great for 2KK, but that's the world we live in. But then you start to read. So mandatory, seller, and parking space. Another, as Danny said, 1 million. Plus what you need to understand, you are buying this project. If you move in there, let's say everything goes in time and there are no delays and so on, problems with kolaudace process, which are not usual, but it can happen. Then you have to buy a kitchen. Because there are just pipes, there's nothing. There aren't any lights. There are literally wires sticking out of the ceiling.
So you have to count with some investments when buying a development project. We definitely don't say are not saying that it's a bad purchase. It's usually a good purchase on the other hand, because development projects are the most demanded flats, let's say, everyone wants to live in a
modern,
in a new building with
where no one died.
Yeah, exactly. No cemeteries.
Yeah. So development projects are special type.
But I always say to clients to rather buy some, as I say, old developments where we are talking about apartments that are old, let's say maximum 10 years.
Yes.
And I think that's the best value ever.
Exactly.
Because you get an apartment that's almost indistinguishable from a development project. It looks completely the same. It has the modern technologies, heat isolation, and so on. And at the same time, it's already built, which might not seem like a big difference. But buying an apartment based on a drawing that they put to you, in front of in some office, and getting actually into the apartment and feel the energy, as we've discussed.
Yes.
But really, it's a completely different thing. Plus, really, problems can happen during the construction. There can be delays, and you can get stuck in a situation where you already had to pay for the property. So you are paying the mortgage, but you cannot move in. So you're paying mortgage and rent at the same time, which is crazy and can really be financially dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to understand these risks before taking into development project.
Yeah.
Also, what I might say, that developers, they are a little bit using their position on the market. And they are, a little bit, they are trying to always force clients into choosing they call it mortgage advisor. I wouldn't say it's a mortgage advisor. The thing is that they want to, of course, keep the commission and so on to themselves, which is reasonable. But on the other hand, the problem is that these advisors, yes, they will probably do, in terms of mortgage, more or less the same job as we do, but they will stop the process with you once the money, are released. Exactly. Once the transaction is done. But that's only 50% of the work. And the advisor will not work for you for the other years that come.
Because a mortgage is for 30 years, so it's a long-term partnership. It's not about okay, I'm going to pay the money now and I'm not going to do anything with the mortgage afterwards.
Mortgage needs constant care, but really it's super, super important because you can get a mortgage, let's say, for 4.5%, but in 1 year there might be, 3.8% on the market. And if you don't have an advisor who will tell you this, because, you don't have the time to always check the market like we do, and does not reduce the rate and so on, you are potentially losing like hundreds of thousands of crowns just because you choose someone else. Yeah. It's really, really important to make good choices.
And people can still come to you when they already have a mortgage and they just want like refinancing or some advice as well.
That happens as well. But of course, we are most happy when we have the client from the beginning, because then it's even easier for us to manage because we know the person that approved the mortgage and we can somehow make some changes there and so on.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And last question is: if somebody is watching right now, would you advise them to buy a property now or wait for another year or two?
Okay.
Is it your sign? This is your sign. If you're looking for a sign, this is your sign. Should you wait or shall you buy? Go.
TLDR, I would buy now. You can expand.
In the matter of waiting, each year you are waiting, you are losing 7% the property growth itself. Mm-hmm. Also, you are paying someone else's rent to someone else, so someone else's mortgage, probably. So you are losing money throwing them from the window. Instead, if you buy now, get a mortgage now, you already are saving the money that you would put on rent into your own property. Mm-hmm. And after 30 years, you are going to own a property. Yeah. If you're not going to live there, it's up to you. You can sell it. You're going to have the money all out of the property.
Yeah. But you have to understand that if you wait for a year, the same property that today costs 8 million in a year will cost 8.5 million. Mm-hmm. You literally lost 500,000 just by waiting a year. So if it's safe for you and you are actually you have the abilities, you checked your mortgage options, stuff like that, I would make the move right now. I think there's no need to wait.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. Okay. And if you listen and watch till the end, we have a surprise for you. So in the description, you'll find an email and the website for Max and Danny for Czech Advisors, right? Czech Advisors.
Thank you.
And if you use the code MoveToPrague in the subject line or email or whatever, you will get a free full consultation on mortgage, no strings attached, nothing. They will just consult you about your options and what's possible.
Yeah, we will be really happy to see you guys.
Isn't it cool? Yeah, that was much more fun than I expected. That was great.
Hopefully it was informative a little bit.
I think it was. It was 60 minutes of informative and fun stuff.
Okay, thank you very much, guys, for being here.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
Thank you. And you guys, if you have any questions, you can also drop them in the comments and we will answer them all together. Not me, because I don't know anything about that, but I will ask Max and Danny to help.
Definitely, no problem. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you.
See you.